Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video is being sponsored by Crafters Castle Challenge blog, and I am joining them on their design team, and I wanted to share with you, even though I've cut some of this up, the design team package that I'm using this month. It is the soda fountain shop bundle, and it comes with individual sheets of pattern paper. I love this argyle one. You got the blue with the hearts, and then these larger hearts, you could actually fussy cut them out. And these are all digital prints, so you can print out as many copies of each of these as you need it, depending on the project. You know, you could make a scrapbook, you can use it on so many different types of projects. But for me, I'm using it to make cards because that's primarily what I do. Now, as I get ready to start putting these together, I do want to remind you guys that links to all of the other design team members that are sharing this month are going to be down in the more section below. And if you do take part in the challenge at Crafters Castle Challenge, it is open to everyone, internationally and of course in America, and all skill levels. So if you just like the craft and you want to come join in on the fun, definitely check out the links down below. Okay, so we're doing A2 size cards, which are 4¼ by 5½, and I was just scoring my base cards, and we're going to start putting everything together. Okay, and what I did find, this is like the first time I'm using digital paper, and with cutting it on my printer paper, which I didn't use your typical office paper, I did use some a little bit heavier stock card stock. It's not super thick like the Nina, but it's not super light either. And what I did was I went around the edges using my Tim Holtz distress inks to give a finished edge, because of course with them being printed on top of the white paper, the core is going to be white. So to kind of tone down the edges, I decided that I wanted to do that on all of my papers, so that way they would all be similar and have the same continuity. Okay, as we're putting this together, I've got both of the sketches that I'm using up in the upper left and right hand side. On the left is the one that we're currently working on. It's a really simple sketch. I just, like I said, colored or distressed the edges of the pattern papers to give it definition. And then I'm going to put a sentiment that I've already pre-cut down at the bottom. And you can pizzazz this up by adding glitter paper, foiled paper. You'll see I'm going to add a few Nuvo drops. I will give you a heads up, if you use the white Nuvo drops and you use it on paper that has been printed on through your inkjet, the white Nuvo drops do kind of pull out the color that it's on top of. So instead of them being bright white, on some of these they wind up having a little pink tone because of the pink paper. But I'm just going to do the 3 dots, tap it 2 times, and then it flattens out a little bit and makes it look more like an enamel dot. Okay, so much fun. So my base cards for both of these, the matte anyway, is measured at 4⅛ by 5�3ⅆ. And I'm using ATG tape and art glitter glue because I like to have a little bit of wiggle room. And I find when I use the wet glue with my ATG tape, it gives me a little bit of time to move stuff around or take it apart without totally messing up my card base. And, you know, if you're like me, you appreciate those few extra seconds of being able to fix something. Okay, so we're going to continue on now with this particular pattern, which is going to be the one in the upper right hand corner. I decided to kind of turn this one on its side. So it was meant to be a horizontal sketch, and this time I'm going to do mine so that it's more vertical. Okay, and I decided on this one I was going to add that pizzazz I was talking about by adding in the glitter paper. And you'll see on this one, I'm using the same color. I'm using the pink on the background and pink for the stripe. And on some of the other ones, I changed it up. I used black glitter behind the image, and then from the, I guess we'll call it the stripe, the second stripe, I'm using the glitter paper. And on the other three that I did, you'll see there was different shades of colors. And on this particular one with the pink, it wasn't long enough. So I'm having to kind of cut it. I cut it not in the middle because it's uneven, but I knew that my pattern paper or my little center image was going to be covering that hole, so I didn't have anything to worry about. Look like that. Now, the only thing I didn't do was keep the sentiment in the same spot, because to me that would just look weird. So when I turn it on its side, I'm just going to put a sentiment strip along the bottom, right beneath on the image itself, on the center, like the focal image. Okay, so while I'm finishing putting the last few touches together, and gonna get some foam tape to prop up my center image, I do want to let you guys also know that TaylorMade Cards for You is a sponsor for the challenge on Crafters Castle Challenge blog. Okay, and you go over to the blog to see what the challenge is or what the prize is for that month. And I definitely want to remind you that the links down below for this bundle that I'm using is going to be right in the more section. So definitely click it, check it out. They're inexpensive. And the best part about digital files is that they're always there for you. So if you need it to print it out again, like I said in the beginning, you can make multiple copies. There's endless opportunities for you, because you never know when you may need a particular color of paper or style, depending on the collection you get. So on this one, I decided not to put foam tape directly underneath. I decided that I wanted to use it on my sentiment, so I cut it as thin as I could and then put it on strips and filled in where I had an empty space, so that way it would have the added dimension. Now I'm trying to figure out, because I knew this particular sentiment that I picked was a little bit longer. Some of the other ones I used were smaller, so that way it would fit within the box itself. But on this one, because it does hang over, I'm adding a small piece of foam to go underneath. And of course, I'm fussing with it because it likes to be difficult. And then that way it kind of keeps everything like it's on one even plane, instead of it being higher or shorter, in other spots. Now on this one, because my sentiment is longer, I couldn't go straight up with the Nuvo drops like I did on the other three cards. So I'm just going to put 3 Nuvo drops in the bottom left corner, and that will be it. But you have these pretty cards. Oh, I did want to share this. I was going to do a box up and make it, using the cut aparts and doing all this, just really making it a pretty container to store your cards. The only problem I had, and I'm going to share this with you, is this particular box. It fits A2 size cards, and that's it. Do you see how tight that is? There's no extra space in there, and it's actually kind of hard to take the cards out, and I didn't like that. And when I give a card set, I like to include envelopes, and the envelopes have no way of fitting into that box. So that's why I kind of gave up on that. But however, I was still able to create 8 cards using just this bundled paper collection. I only printed it once, and look at all the cards we were able to create. It was really a lot of fun. And then with the cut aparts that they had. Here I was able to make 4 more cards. So I got 2 with the sundaes and 2 with the like the root beer floats type style. And I mean, I like how they turned out. I think they are super cute, really well put together. They were easy to put together, and it was digital, but like I said, it was meant to go together. Everything is really pretty and goes with the theme, and definitely check it out. Like I said, the links are down below, okay, you guys? So I am just so excited to be a part of this design team this year. So here are the close-ups of all of the cards that I made today. And like I said, make sure you check all the links down below and check out all the other great designers. And come be a part of the challenge this month. Thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great day.